right. So, different places have different type of climate, and that climate of a place is a function of precipitation and it is also the function of its temperature Temperature in turn depend on the latitude right. It depend upon slope right. It depend on relative distribution of land and sea. Similarly, this also is the factor of various things that we have discussed earlier. Right. Okay. That is the function of all these things. Okay. So, Koppen, Koppen, what he did? He collected data from various places, right? Data of what? Data of temperature and precipitation, right? He collected data of precipitation and temperature of different places, and he related this data with the vegetation of that place. What he basically found that there exists a relationship between the vegetation and the temperature and precipitation of a place. Right? So, basically he classified the world climates into 5 major types based on temperature and precipitation data. What were those types? They were represented by A, B, C, D and E. Right? Out of these 5 types, this one, this one, this one and this one. These 4 A, C, D and E is based on temperature, right? You can say these were mainly main basis was temperature. Here precipitation was the main factor, right? A, D, C, D and E, these are humid climates. And B was a dry climate. right? These are dry climate, right? So these are the 5 major types of climate. He further subdivided these 5 climates were further subdivided based on the seasonality of precipitation and temperature, right? So he divided on the basis of rainfall throughout the year, rainfall during the monsoon season, right? या फिर winter dry या फिर summer dry, right? So basically he classified on the basis of rainfall throughout the year, small f, rainfall throughout the year, that means no dry period. Right? M, monsoon period, right? S, summer dry, W, winter dry, right? Okay. Then basically these 4 are applicable on the humids, right? If I say AF, what does that mean? Humid, but no dry season. If I say AS, what does that mean? That means tropical humid but dry season in summer, right? In B was further categorized into W and S. W stands for desert and S stand for steppe type of climate. Steppe means grassland type of climate. Steppe or grassland type of climate. I thought why I was feeling hot. Okay. So W stand for desert, right? That means if you find BW, that means it means desert type of climate, or BS, that means grassland type of climate, right? Then basically these were further subdivided based on severity of temperature into A, B and C, D, right? The severest temperature A, then B, then C and then D, right? Now let us do, you know about these letters, then let us do what A represents. A represents tropical climate. Since it was based on temperature primarily, right? So in this tropical type of climate, the average temperature of the coldest month should not be less than 18 degree, you can say is 18 degree or higher, right? Should be more than or equal to 18 degree centigrade, right? B type of climate is that climate where evaporation exceeds precipitation. That means it is dry. In C type of climate, what happened? The average temperature of the coldest month is higher than -3. Average temperature of coldest month is higher than -3 degrees centigrade, right, but less than 18 degrees centigrade, right. Then D type of climate, this is known as tropical climate, right. B is known as dry climate. C type is known as warm temperate. How do you differentiate between warm and cold? If this is earth, this is equator, this is tropical, right, where incoming heat is more, right, and beyond it there is temperate, and in the end here it is polar, right. You understand? You can say frigid. So this is tropical, this is temperate, and this is frigid type of climate, right. So this is warm temperate, that means it must be just after the tropics, right. Then D type of climate, in this the average temperature of the coldest month is below -3, right, less than right. So that means it is cold temperate, right. Then E is the cold climate. Here average temperature of all months, should be less than 10 degrees centigrade. See, until here we are asking about the coldest month, right. Here average temperature of all months should be less than 10 degrees centigrade, right. So these are 5 types of major climates that he presented. Later on he added one more name, that is H, that means highland climate. You know that at highlands elevation there is lesser temperature at height on the mountains, right. So accordingly there is different type of vegetation, right. Later on let us try to club them all, right. So A type of climate, tropical climate, right. So tropical climate can be AF, right, the smaller letter, because this is the main division, this is the subdivision, right. So AF, there is no dry season. Where do you normally see AF type of climate? This is tropical wet climate between 10 degree north and south of equator, right, 10 degree north and south of equator. Then if there is A and M, that means monsoon type of climate. So India, Southeast Asia, right? That is monsoon type. Then we have AW type of climate, that means winter dry. Right? So A के variants हैं ये. We will see them on map when we talk about B type of climate, right? That means dry climate. So it can be S, right? And there is another subdivision, that means hot and cold. Hot is represented by H, right? So BSH, that means B is the dry region, S is the steppe region, right? So it is low latitude semi-arid grassland. Right? Again B, W. W means desert, right? And H, hot deserts, right? That means low latitude hot deserts, right? Then B, S again, and K. This small k represents cold, right? So it is mid latitude and semi-arid. Because if you say that if you move up on the latitude, see, this is equator, right? So maybe up to here there are dry lands, right? But if you move a little bit in the north, there will be grassland, but there will be little cold temperature, so that will be these mid latitude semi-arid grasslands, right? If you say BWK, so BWK is the cold deserts, like Ladakh is a cold desert, right? Mongolia, Gobi desert, Atacama desert, these are the cold deserts. Right? C type, that means we are moving a little bit higher in the mid latitudes, right? So CF is mid latitude, you can say humid subtropical. Humid subtropical is CF, right? CS is the Mediterranean type. CF is the Mediterranean type. Here there is summer dry, winter is wet, right? Then we have C, F again, right? CF, here we will differentiate, this is on the basis of temperature differences, severity of temperature, right? So A is warm summer, here it is cool summer. Right. Then we have D type of climate. D, that means cold snow forest type of climate, and D can be categorized into DF, right? That means no dry season, and DW, that means winter dry, right? E type of climate is having ET, that means tundra type of climate, right? And EF, here there are perennial ice caps. Perennial ice caps, right? Let us put it on the map so that you can better understand. Okay, so this is hot, wet equatorial climate. Right, from 0 degree up to 10 degree, right? Up to 30 degree we have hot zone, 30 degree north and south we have hot zone, right? In the eastern margin we have monsoon type of climate. So can I say this is AM, sorry, right? Then we have in the middle Sudan type of climate, or you can say savanna type of climate or grassland climate, right? So this can be BSH, right? In the western side we have hot deserts. Now let us understand how it is happening. Do you know that winds are moving like this? So in the eastern coast we have monsoon from the ocean, right? These winds, they will shed their moisture within the land, so when it reaches the interiors there will be grassland. Further westward there will be complete dry. समझ में आया? एक बार मैप में दिखाते हैं, एक बार थोड़ी देर में मैप में देख के करेंगे. ओके, ये समझ में आ गया अभी? सिद्धि को मैप कहाँ से खोल रहा था? हाँ, कहाँ पे है वो? So let's try to understand it through this. This is somewhere here that we have our equator, right? It is somewhere here, isn't it? Okay, and on equator we have winds from both sides. See, this is, say, somewhere here you have your equator, right? Isn't it? So these are the winds. Just think about that. This side, the winds will bring rainfall in this area, right? So monsoon type of climate here, right? In this side, there will be dry land, because whatever moisture they have, it will be shed till they reach in the interiors, right? When they are moving further out of it, if the winds are moving just from land to sea, will they bring any rain? Will they bring any rain? अगर हवाएं चली जमीन से और पानी की तरफ रही हैं तो हवा आएगी क्या? बारिश आएगी क्या? इसीलिए यहाँ पे डेजर्ट है. ये हवाएं चल कहाँ से रही हैं? इस जगह पे अगर हम देखें, इस एरिया में देयर इज हाई प्रेशर, राइट? वो हवाएं ऐसे चल रही हैं सब जगह पे. तो डेजर्ट क्यों है? क्योंकि लैंड से बाहर की तरफ हवाएं चल रही हैं, तो बरसात होगी कहाँ से? ठीक है. तो वो जो हम अगर हम देखें, हमने क्या बनाया था? मॉनसून इस साइड में, बीच में सवाना टाइप और साइड में हॉट डेजर्ट टाइप. ठीक है. जब हम 30 डिग्री से 45 डिग्री तक ऊपर चलें, डिग्री से 45 डिग्री तक ऊपर चलें, ईस्टर्न साइड के हम बोल देंगे वार्म वेट फॉरेस्ट मिलेंगे. वार्म वेट फॉरेस्ट, इस क्लाइमेट को हम चाइना टाइप क्लाइमेट भी बोल देते हैं, राइट? चाइना टाइप का क्लाइमेट. इसको हम ये भी बोल सकते हैं CFA, ठीक है. बीच वाले को हम बोलेंगे स्टेपी टाइप ऑफ क्लाइमेट, राइट? दैट विल बी BSK, right? And this will be Mediterranean type of climate. This will be CS, right? Okay. अब देखते हैं कि ये CS that means winter dry. Mediterranean climate में winter dry कैसे होता है? Zero degree. This is 30 degree. This is 30 degree. Right. Sun do not shine vertically on 0 degree, right? It moves north and south apparently according to the revolution of earth, right? On 21st April it will shine here, then it will move northwards. On 21st June, Tropic of Cancer, right? So accordingly, the energy that earth is receiving, it is also changing in different areas, right? So what happened? The pressure belts that we have seen normally, ideally, that was like this. But earth is not completely ideal, right? So what happens when sun is moving apparently north, naturally the pressure belts are also accordingly moving north, right? So there will be movement, apparent movement of the pressure belts in the north, right? there will be apparent movement of ITCZ upward the north. So, the winds that are moving from here up to here, they will move from here to here, isn't it? There will be a respective change in the south. You can see it will be from here to here, isn't it? That change will occur. Now, let us see okay. Now, let us see that, say, normally ideally this was the condition, right? ITCZ was located here. When it shifts northward, what will happen? Say it is shifted somewhere here. This is ITCZ now. That means the northern pressure belt will also shift a little bit north, right? So, it will shift somehow here, right? What will happen? The winds will be offshore here. What happened in the southern France, Spain and in this region? Because of this northward shift of sun, the winds will be offshore. That means away from the land towards the ocean. So, there will be dry season in the Mediterranean. That is why Mediterranean is summer dry, right? Normally it is there. What will happen in the winters? This will shift southward. This will shift southward. This will shift southward. What will happen now? This is high pressure. So, the winds will move like this. So, it will come under the influence of westerlies, right? That will bring rain in the winters. Understood? So, that is how the Mediterranean type of climate is formed, right? So, it is the product of apparent movement of, main region is the apparent movement of sun. Right? That leads to shifting of pressure belts, and this shifting of pressure belts is responsible for the formation of such climate. Is it clear? Done? Yes, that is why Mediterranean type of climate is found in California, it is found in Australia, it is found in South Africa. Very good. Right? California also have Mediterranean like of climate. But since the Mediterranean region is most affected, the name is through Mediterranean. Right? Similar type of climate is found in North America in California region. It is also found in Australia, Southern Australia. It is also found in the Natal region of South Africa. Right? It is also found in Chile, South America. Right? In these regions, Mediterranean type of climate is found. Very good. Okay. Now, further north, in the eastern side we have Laurentian type of climate. Right? Here there is rainfall. How rainfall? Because the rainfall is because of the nearness to the sea. Right? Then Siberian type. Right? In this Siberian type there is coniferous trees. Right? And coniferous trees are evergreen. Then this is British type. See, British type of climate have deciduous forests, right? It is also have rainfall almost throughout the year. Finally, Arctic type. Right? One by one we will talk about all these types of climates, their characteristics. First is tropical wet climate. That means AF. It is also called as hot wet equatorial climate. Hot wet equatorial climate. Right? These are normally referred as equatorial rainforests. Found around 10° north and south. Right? Example, Amazon forest, Congo forest, Malaysia, Southeast Asia, right. Temperature here is uniform throughout the year, around 27 degrees centigrades. Temperature is around 27 degrees centigrade, uniform. Right? There is no winter. Right? There is almost daily precipitation around 4 o'clock in the evening. Right? Rainfall is around 250 to 300 centimeters. Right? Average is 150 centimeter, but it can be 250 to 300 centimeters. No month is without rain. No month is without rain. Right? There are 2 rainfall peaks in a year. Right? There is double rainfall peak. And these peaks are basically associated with 2 equinoxes. Right? These peaks are associated with equinoxes. The vegetation is luxurious. right? Amazonian forests are known as selvas, right? What do you mean by selvas? Selvas means which have a dense canopy cover. Because it has a very dense canopy cover, right? What are the main trees? Mahogany, ebony, mahogany, ebony, dyewood, right? Shifting cultivation is practiced here. Shifting cultivation is practiced here. Lumbering is also done. Right. These areas also have epiphytes. What are epiphytes? These are those plants that grow harmlessly on other plants, right? They don't cause any harm to that plant. They just take support from that epiphyte, right? So, what are the main tribes live here? Pygmies in Congo Basin, Orang Asli in Malaysia, Orang Asli, right? And Indian tribes in Amazon like Yanomamo, Bari, right? Plantation industry is booming in the rainforest regions. And what are the main crops of plantation? Rubber, natural rubber, cocoa, oil palm, coffee, right? Natural rubber is grown in Brazil, Malaysia and Indonesia mainly. Cocoa in West Africa, like Ghana and Nigeria. Oil palm in Indonesia. Coffee in Brazil. Now, this region have a dense forest, right? So, the development of equatorial regions is affected, right? It is hindered. What are the various regions? One, the climate is not favorable, right? So, basically it has high humidity, which is favorable for communicable diseases, insects, pests, etc., right? Second, jungle also hinders its development, right? There is huge density, right? So, it is very difficult to clear all these forests. Then soil of the equatorial regions, it leach very, you can say quickly, right? It leaches very quickly. There is rapid deterioration of soil, right? Why? Because see, in the tropical regions, there is high temperature and moisture, although the soil is very fertile, but because of rapid bacterial activity and microbial activity, it quickly degenerate anything that is there. From where the organic matter in the soil come? From the fallen leaves. Suppose this soil have trees, right? These trees, there will be fallen leaves from here and other detrital matter, right? This detrital matter was converted into a kind of manure by the soil bacteria and other microbes, right? What happen if you clear these trees? There is nothing, right? No organic matter is added here, but quickly it will, because bacterial activity and microbial activity is very rapid, so anything that was there, it will deteriorate quickly, right? So within 1 or 2 seasons after the shifting agriculture, the soil loses its fertility and the cultivators have to shift from that location to the next location, right? That is how it happens, right? Then it is difficult for livestock, right? Because the grass of the tropical region is not nutritious, right? Then there are many deadly diseases like CC fly. CC fly causes sleeping sickness, right? So these also causes problem, right? Okay. Next is monsoon type of climate. Yes. 4 बजे 4 o'clock रेनफॉल क्यों होती है? This is equator, 0 degree, right? That means there is almost vertical sun rays, right? So sun rays will normally be intense at around 12 to 1 o'clock, right? It causes low pressure here, heating of the surface, right? What will happen because of the heating? There will be hot air. That air start moving up because the humidity is very high here. Humidity is always high here. So what will happen? That humid air will rise. When it will rise, it will condense, and by the 4 o'clock it will rain. That is high. That is how 4 o'clock rainfall is associated with this tropical rainforest climate, right? Because humidity is high, the raw material is available, right? Daily heating of the surface will be there. So naturally air will move up, cool down and condense in the form of clouds and rainfall, right? Okay. Second is monsoon type of climate. Right. Monsoons, we can say, are land and sea breezes, right? We'll talk about this tomorrow because you have to understand first what monsoon type of climate is, right? Otherwise, before that you won't be able to make such clarity on it, right? Tomorrow we'll talk about monsoon first, then we'll talk about monsoon type of climate, right? Take care.